Alright guys, this blog and this strike time video were absolutely no joke. The first half of what you're about to watch is going to be me breaking into the blog. There's lots of very important, very cool information we're going to talk about. And then we're going to watch the entire strike time video. It's Cerebro's last video. And they had Ryan Jacobs on, and he dropped so many big bombs of news. He's the GM, so you can get away with it. Shout out to Ryan for doing that. So make sure you check out the timestamps. If you don't want to do the blog talk and you just want to see strike time, or you don't do the strike time, you just want to see the blog, the timestamps are there for that. I hope this video finds you well. Let's get into it. Now, there is a strike time video. I think this is going to be the last one we ever get, so we'll watch that together after we digest the blog. We're going to learn about all this stuff inside the blog itself, so let's not have ourselves any spoilers. Out of Time. So Strike is recruiting the Out of Time team. That's going to be your Black Knight, your Cosmic Ghost Rider, your Starbrand, along with Peggy Carter and Captain America reworked. This team is an absolute monster, and it's going to start with Black Knight. So I don't want to go through all these kits. We did it in a video earlier this week, or was it late last week? I forget which. Let me give you the long and the short of it in war, and then we'll talk about the MVP of this team. The long and the short of it is Cosmic Ghost Rider is sapping away the enemy's focus. Black Knight has a pre-taunt. He also has defense up, which gives him an additional 1000% resistance. Every time he gets hit, he retaliates the enemy with 30% of his maximum health, as well as trauma, as well as bleeds. The idea of the team is that they make you take more turns before you hit into the Black Knight. He has charges. He kills your teams. This is a war team. The reason that this is going to work is because Black Knight is an absolute monster and scales to infinity beyond. Starbrand, I can't really see any plug-and-play value for him. Cosmic Ghost Rider, a little bit too slow for plug-and-play value. Peggy Carter, she's kind of whatever. Captain America seems like he's going to be pretty good. We'll look at his stat changes. They're probably going to be posted below. But he has those deflex on spawn that makes him interesting in and of itself, as well as being a battery in the current Stage 4 of the coming Crucible season. And then there's Black Knight. Now, Black Knight may very well be the best character in the game. He may be number 2, he may be number 3. Depends what your uses is and how you decide who's the best. But he's up there. He's definitely going to be a character that if they let us core his orb, you probably want to start saving your cores now. Stop spending energy, stop leveling during this leveling event, and get as many shards on Black Knight as you can. Alright, with that said, let's just continue on. Cosmic Ghost Rider, they give his story and everything too. I mean, the Starbrand story was very interesting. If you guys want to check it out, I do suggest you go over here to the blog and check it out. Peggy Carter, so we got some stat reworks on Carter. Not a lot of life, not a lot of damage, a little bit of resistance. She kind of just does what she used to do in Raids for Rebirth, so it's not that much of an interesting rework in my opinion. Now, Captain America, on the other hand, 41% health. He was already pretty healthy, but now he's super healthy. And then speed. A speed rework is kind of always crazy because it changes how people expect a character to work. So he's now sitting at 118 speed, giving deflex on spawn to his team, as well as giving energy and defense up, and I believe even immunity to all allies when he does his special. So this is a very, very interesting character. And again, in Stage 4, on the defensive side, he will not open up with his ultimate, he's going to open up with his special, so he's going to give that energy away, making him an interesting candidate for that room. Alright, Black Knight and the Pact of Greed. So he's coming on the 16th. Shards become available in the Night of the Round Orb. Nice, for 675 cores. So he will be coreable. I was worried he wasn't going to be coreable. You're definitely going to want to save some cores for this guy. I'm assuming he's a 100 shard unlock. I forget what it was on the playtest server. But regardless, he scales like no other character does really, because it's his max life. You're going to want to gear tier 18 him, ISO 5 him. If you can put diamonds on him, but I guess we're going to find out later he's Dark Promo, so scratch that. But you're going to want as many stars and red stars on him as possible. Alright, beginning the Pact of Greed. Completing this premium milestone will reward the Green Goblin Classic Greed costume. To score points for this milestone, you'll need to obtain 3 items. The Corrupted Mask, the Corrupted Glider, the Corrupted Bombers. These are in the Starbrand, Black Knight, and Cosmic Ghost Rider offers. So this is just like the Nova. Hopefully it just doesn't look as bad as the Nova one did. I didn't like the Nova one at all. I don't have a picture of that yet, but if I get one, I'll make sure to share that with you guys on the Discord. Alright, Black Knight offers. So this was on the 16th, his orb drops. Okay, so February 16th, mark your calendars, 2 days after Valentine's Day. After you bought your sweetie all those chocolates and all those flowers, rack up those credit card bills. She can't be mad at you after 2 days, right? Right? Or him, in whatever your case may be. But you're going to want to get some stars on Black Knight with his cores. Get it free to play. Do it if you can. I know a lot of people are telling me they're going to be cracking it out on him. Anyway, Red stars for Black Knight. So be sure to unsheath additional power for Black Knight with red stars. We'll have special offers that include 4 red stars for Black Knight with his character shards. So keep your eyes on the store. The wielder of the Ebony Blade requires dark promotion credits to promote his red stars. Direct red star promotions will be available in the Elite Store at an increased appearance rate for 1 week when the Black Knight character shard offer goes live in game. So head over to Elite Store for additional. Okay, so this is good. I was a little bit worried about this when I was just starting to read that. It sounded like they were not going to let people do direct red star promotions on him until they had milked people for these whatever the offer is going to be to get 4 red stars on him. So direct red star promotion will be available in the Elite Store at an increased rate for 1 week when Black Knight's character shard offers go live in game. So when his character shard offers go live in game, get him from the Elite Store. You don't have to buy this offer. Definitely run, don't walk. Get as many reds as you're going to get yellows on him for sure. Seeing red. So Red Goblin is going to be the next month long. My baby account hates that idea because it means I'm that much further away from having the full Hive Mind team. But the 4 pieces are working pretty good. So we have 3 main milestone events, 3 quick rumbles. I hate quick rumbles on the baby account, and 2 alliance milestones. Collect as many Carnage Symbiote Vials as possible. There's going to be a Valentine's card, which I believe is some sort of store, which I'm sure we're going to read about here in a second. And I'll make sure I can get whatever character shards, whatever goodies are in that store, so we don't have to just wait and see and you don't know what you should spend or not. I'll try and get that list for you guys. Critical items to help Red Goblin Tendrils. So there's the big items. Event schedule. Nick Fury and Strike Strategic Command have created the following plan of attack to obtain items and recruit key new allies. Dates listed. All right. Milestones. It doesn't matter what these events are called until they're coming, right? So let's just go with that. You can bond with extra points to aid your progress by heading to the web store each day to get your free stuff. Absolutely. Fury and Strike, Brass, sweeten the pot with a special leaderboard. Climb the ranks to mine Diamond Champion Orbs. Okay, so that's just the leaderboard stuff. There's our Friday free claim. Battle Pass is... Oh, nice, Battle Pass. Okay, but first of all, I know that they mentioned the store a little bit higher up here. Where did they mention the store? Was that at the very beginning? The synopsis or whatever you'd call that? Digga-digga-doo-doo. Digga-digga-doo. Roses are red, earn heart candy from campaign notes, and spend in the candy store. So there's going to be another store, which is very good. And I don't know if they said it, but there's also going to be a showcase. That's right. February 16th, when Black Knight comes, there's going to be an out-of-time super showcase. I love the showcases. They are so good at helping you get gear for your characters, helping new players just get character shards. I absolutely love those events. I hope they never stop doing them, and I hope they always have one running, because that's just awesome that way. All right, Battle Pass. We're getting Void Knight in the Battle Pass already. I know a lot of people didn't get to unlock Void Knight because his release method did mean you had to blitz, and if you weren't level 70, you couldn't farm the ISO blue campaign, so this is fantastic. He's going to be in the Battle Pass. I believe that is the RTA Pass. Now, unfortunately, if you're not level 65, you don't even get to see the Battle Pass yet. So hopefully, you guys can get to level 65 if you're not there yet. I know I'm speaking mostly to veteran players where this isn't an issue. But February 12th, that's when he's going to start. So get your Void Knight, get him unlocked, get him powered up. He is, in my opinion, the 4th best character in the game right now. All right, week 1, scene red. So stopping to smell the roses. Let's see what kind of event we're looking at. Heart candy currency from campaign nodes. That's where you're going to get your currencies, the campaign nodes. Get your hands and make sure to restock your supply. What kind of rewards can we expect to see here? Diamond Dump Orb Fragments. You can expect them to not be around. 10 Red Goblin shards. So there is going to be a Red Goblin in the event itself, not just in the monthly milestone. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Red in the face. Strike Cyborg is spreading the love by rewarding additional roses and red progress in exchange for earning war credits. Log into the website, grab your rewards. Okay, so do some war. This one's probably going to be very free for you. Cat Warriors. Is this a quick rumble? Yeah, it's a quick rumble. All right, Hell and Back. Wow, there's so much going on. So this is going to be the showcase. Amazing. So Flex the Might, a multiverse great warriors with the out-of-time super showcase. Hell and Back is a great way for players of all skill levels to experience this powerful new alliance war team and earn valuable rewards. Augmented crystals, parts, and augmented origin gear across all difficulties. We'll see a +2 increase in drop quantities from previous... Whoa! +2 increase in the drop quantities. That's good, because the drop rate sucks. All right, commanders of all levels can cruise through battles with the new out-of-time team. We'll provide a powered-up out-of-time team for you to test out and experience firsthand. Test drive offers up the first-time character shards for Captain America, Captain Carter, U.S. Agent, The Thing, Agent Coulson, and Mockingbird, along with gold. Okay, so this is great. They give you free characters. Looks like everybody is going to get a free Captain America, a free Captain Carter, a free U.S. agent, the Thing, and Agent Coulson. Well, at least you get that in the test drive. Then you're also going to get, probably, presumably, if they follow the same pattern, a bunch of them as well from the story mode. So if I think Captain Carter is a 100 shard unlock, you'll get 50 from the test drive, 50 from the story. So this is going to be your new player kind of campaign. This is going to be your mid-game player. You got to be level 60 to even activate that. And this is going to be your Kraken Appreciation event. And you know what? As long as we keep getting showcases, keep bringing on the Kraken Appreciation events. It's fine. Elite Store update. Big names will soon have big promotions available in the Elite Store. Starting February 13th, Dormammu, Iron Man, Spider-Man Big Time will have diamonds available, while Green Goblin Classic will have promotions up to 7 red stars available. Okay, Green Goblin, in my opinion, is the highest valued character to use your Dark Promotion credits on right now. Except for Black Knight. But I don't think you're going to be able to bring Black Knight up too high. Now, I do have some information for you guys. This is the DPC costs of these characters. This is provided by Archangel. Shout out to Archangel. So we do know that Green Goblin Classic for the 6 red star, 3,500 and 4,500, and Black Knight is going to follow the exact same cost as Quicksilver up here. So he follows the very cheapness of the legendary characters, I believe. Maybe not. Doesn't show. Okay, anyway. So 5, 6, 9, 1,700. I think we're probably going to be stuck here at the 4-star because that's what the offer is going to be. So I think getting Black Knight up to 4-star takes precedence over getting Goblin to 6 or 7. But getting Goblin to 6 or 7 is directly after that. Unless still Apocalypse red stars come to the game, and then I guess everything changes. Or no, he already has red stars. I guess then when his diamonds come to the game, things change. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is that the Green Goblin is such an amazing character in both War and Crucible. Maybe the additional red stars in Arena again, we'll have to wait and see. But he's going to be high on my priority list. I'm definitely going to bring him to 7 red stars right away. All right, Alliance War Temporal Turmoil. This is going to be the Alliance War changes. This is going to be... Is this the Alliance War changes? Entering the War Season rewards will be diamonds for Titanium. Oh, there we go. Let's read this. The War for Next Earth enters a new chapter, which features an update to the spoils of war and fresh faces to lead the charge. Chapter 4 begins on February 11th, and entering the War Season rewards will be diamonds for Titania. Note that accompanying this update will be the removal of diamond rewards from the Raid Season rewards. War Victory and Defeat rewards will also see an update, with both getting increased quantities and gold specifically getting a 20% increase. Ooh. Victory rewards will get a substantial increase to Elite War credits, level 4 T2 ions, and level 5 T2 ions. It's so hard for my tongue to get those right. Read the rules and update. Okay, so we also did a video on this. Cliff notes, Cosmic Heroes are going to be absolutely annoying on War defense. The new Warriors team is going to be the new Juggernaut team. They're going to be spawning with Safeguard, offense up, defense up, and 10% turn meter on spawn unless they're exhausted. So it's going to be a little bit of our Crucible new Warriors on the defensive side in War. So keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely have videos coming soon. All right, and then we get until next time. So a couple things I want to address real quick is there was a technical not change to Red Goblin's kit. It just was worded wrong before. So Red Goblin's ultimate text was updated on the last week's blog to match the current in-game description. This was the way the ability worked when used in testing, and the gameplay videos were all with the ability working as the current text. So let's just get into it. So it was down on the multiplier. So it was in the attacking all enemies for 320% damage. And then this part is what was read wrong before. 125% additional damage per positive effect on this character. So per positive effect on Red Goblin is going to be the damage modifier. The way it read was 125% additional damage per negative effect on the enemy character. Obviously, that's a huge difference. I think this nerfs the ability in PvP by a lot, because the whole idea was that you're going to load up on the enemy with debuffs from Carnage, from Void Knight with the ability lock, plus whatever he flips. There's going to be a bunch of negative effects you could hit into, which would make this number probably around the 800 point, so it hit for effectively around 1100% damage with Red Goblin's insane damage stat. I guess that would be too broken, maybe. I don't think so, because the team is innately slow and there's lots of ways to counter it, but they don't think they wanted that to happen. Now, it seems that when I did my testing in the gameplay, it was working per positive effect. I'll take their word for that. It still hits super hard in the testing, which was nice, but I will say he doesn't actually get many positive effects. Like, he spawns a defense up, he spawns a deflex, He'll get offense up from Gwenum going first if Gwenum's on the team. But I don't think Gwenum makes the team in all scenarios. And once again, it's just a big nerf to him in PvP, unfortunately. All right, let's watch this this Strike Time video together.
Greetings, Marvel Strike Force community, and welcome to your community update show. Please welcome back to the show the General Manager for Marvel Strike Force, Mr. Ryan Jacobson. Thank you for taking the time to come in today, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Couple things. This is going to be the last video with Cerebro. He has since moved on from Marvel Strike Force. I don't know where he's going. I don't think he was like innately evil like some people thought. I had some good experiences with him. I think he did have to make some decisions that were more on the business side than the player side, and so that kind of stuff, that just keeps with you. But he's gone now, so best of luck to him. And this guy right here, Ryan, this guy's the real deal. He's a nerd. He wants the game to succeed. He wants the game to be the biggest mobile game on the any platform. So I'm excited with him at the helm, and he said a lot of things that are nice. We'll see if it culminates into action. But shout out to this guy, at least so far. We met him at the summit. Pretty solid dude. Though, no, I'm not going to say it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while. Glad to be back.
We are due. So I know a lot has been going on since July, which was your first appearance on the show. Could you give us a couple of highlights on some of the things you've been working on behind the scenes in the past 6 to 7 months?
Wow, there's a lot there. I think we've been trying to really, fix a lot of the core issues on kind of some of the way that we are operating the game, trying to put on a better experience for our players, listening to our players, right? The player council, engaging with them, listening to feedback from the envoys, the community at large, as well as trying to make sure that we are trying to build the best Marvel experience possible. And I think that we're continuing to put a lot of work into that, as well as trying to develop a lot of new stuff that we're really excited about that's going to be coming out in 2024. Last year especially was just thinking about a lot of the mistakes that we had kind of made in the past and learning from those mistakes, and kind of trying to really...
All right, so let's give them their due here. We had so much cookie cutter garbage last year, especially with us all having to make the same characters for Apocalypse. In the last couple teams, there have been standout plug-and-play characters like Nightcrawler, like Void Knight, like Black Knight is going to be, that is really injecting plug-and-play value in a mode that doesn't have as many teams like Crucible. Like in War, where you have 10 rooms, but we have, 200 characters. So there's lots of plug-and-play potential to just kind of elevate any one team to go beyond what it was built to do is this cookie cutter form. The arena is absolutely game change now, right? So I do think that we still have the cookie cutter teams where you can get a lot of value out of them, but we are also getting very, very powerful plug-and-play characters that could be used to make very interesting compositions. Let's continue.
Make sure that our players' voices were really being heard, and that they also knew we were listening and actually making a lot of the changes from a lot of the feedback we were receiving.
You mentioned changes. Do you have one maybe on the top of your head that you can think of a change that you think is going really well and you want to continue going down that path?
Yeah, I think there's so many, to be honest with you. I think, we got a little bit of flack for kind of recently running a gold spend event, but if you look back, we stopped running those primarily for the entire year, right? Yeah. Where we knew our players really did not enjoy those types of hoarding events. I still think there's a lot to do on the kind of live.
So, listen, the problem with, we didn't run it for a year is okay, but you did run one. So when you run one, and when you've said we're not going to run them again, but now you're saying, hey, we might run one every once in a while, there's a subset of players that will never spend a single piece of gold now, and they will wait till that event to try and max it out. I think more strong wording needs to be used here. That should be like, hey, we might run a gold event, but it's not going to be... It's not going to have, the best... they need to have a much stronger stance than... We might do it sometimes. You know what I mean? They haven't ran it for a year. I know a lot of people felt better about spending it, but the second the gold spending event thing was brought up, a lot of players felt betrayed, which is very unfortunate. I hope they don't ever do that again without at least a lot of notice. One thing that I've asked Ryan in particular and the game experience guy is, we need better new player experience stuff. Like, I started the new account. I know I've been talking about it a lot more than a lot of you veteran people in the community like to hear. But I asked for more blue gear, asked for more purple gear, blue training modules, purple training modules. Like, these are things that shouldn't exist as bottlenecks in the game anymore. I think about the game as I think about expansions. So if World of Warcraft is in its 7th expansion, Marvel Strike Force is in its 7th expansion. Blue gear, blue training materials, purple training materials, that was from like the second expansion of World of Warcraft. Why are players, new players in particular, that might just drop the game because they have these bottlenecks that it's a lot to get into. But why would you keep playing a game when they're forcing you to deal with the same nonsense that players had to deal with 4 years ago, which just keeps you from the current stuff, like the current stuff that you get to watch people on YouTube play, you get to watch people on Twitch play, you get to watch people in your Alliance play. Why are people going to want to stick around when their Alliance is now doing Ultimate 7, Doom? They're getting purple material, they're getting orange gear, they're no longer getting purple gear, they're no longer getting blue gear. Why? How can those players then make that shift? They got to farm blue gear now? It's like, they got to just wait till they get pennies of it from the raid season rewards? Like, it makes no sense. Blue gear bottleneck, green gear bottleneck, blue training modules, purple training modules, not training modules, sorry, ability materials shouldn't exist at all anymore. I hope he touches on that. We'll see. But yeah.
I've upside around kind of the overall events and experiences we want to be putting on for those players. As well as kind of going back to kind of Cosmic Crucible, right? Trying to really make sure that that was a player theory crafting mode and making sure that it wasn't a lock and key. So I think there's a lot of little...
That's very true. We hated Cosmic Crucible when it started to become just absolutely cookie cutter. Like, hey, full Wakanda team does this. Full whatever team does that. Tangle of Eternals is the must-use team here. We started hating the game when that was happening, and they definitely peeled off that. So, I mean, props for that. What can you say? That's definitely something that they improved on. And once again, characters like Nightcrawler, Void Knight, Black Knight, they're definitely going to change the way we use cookie cutter teams in a big way. So it's good. It's very, very fun. It's refreshing.
Examples like that, where if you kind of take a look back and kind of know what we were doing, we've made a lot, in my opinion, significant changes to the way that we operate the game. And again, there's still a lot of work ahead of us. But I do feel like now we are definitely on the correct path to making sure that the community really is enjoying the experience that we're trying to deliver to them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the smaller things, I guess you could say, that can make a huge difference. Like our recent quality of life improvement with the ISO 8 switch.
Yes.
Like the community just blew up about
yes.
that and said that was one of the best ever. And that was maybe, what, I don't know, a week of work?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, we need to always try and find time to prioritize a lot of that work. I mean, you know, there's only so many resources that can go around when you're doing game development, but it is important. And you're totally right? All those little things.
I think Cerebro just did a boo-boo there. He basically said, like, something we've been asking for forever was super easy to do. We finally did it, and people liked it, and we're now scratching our heads like, wow, that worked? And Ryan here's like, bro, what are you doing? Why would you say that? Like, at least pretend like it took a lot of work to get it done. Because that's something that really should have been done. They're putting more improvements on it, I think, by just making it more visually appealing. There's a lot of things that I think they could keep doing. The save squads is a huge problem. The team positioning issue, when you have it, if you are scrolling through your roster, say in War or Crucible, and you have a certain tag turned on, you put characters in, and then you move them around, it goes absolutely crazy. And when you load into the game, they're not where they're supposed to be. It cost me one of my final Crucible matches of the season. It's just, that's the kind of thing that, is that a minor tweak that should only take you guys a week to fix? If so, freaking do it, man. What are we waiting for?
Add up, number one, but certain things that are small can have a great impact.
So we tend to think of players as kind of like in different segments sometimes. Like we think about, you know, our veteran players, we think about new players. There's kind of that section in between. It's a bit amorphous, which is returning players. You know, players that maybe they got too busy in their life. Now they got some more time, they can come back, check us out, and see how things are going. What's kind of your thought process into creating a great onboarding experience for players that maybe took a few months off or even a couple of years off?
Yeah, lapsed players is always something that's difficult to kind of figure out what is...
You see the difference there? Look, I think Suri was a nice guy, but do you see the difference there? He didn't know what to call the players. Ryan immediately calls them lapsed players. That is a difference in... That's an important distinction to make between these two people. So that tells me that they have the player base segmented, and they are able to focus on a certain subset of players. I wouldn't call them lapsed players. They're just returning players to me. But I think there is five subsets of players. There's new players, there's mid-game players, there's early late game players, and there's late game players. That's 4, and then there's returning players, and they just kind of drop into any bucket, but they're screwed for arena.
Is the approach, how do you want them to come back? When do you want them to come back? What we're trying to do is make sure that as a new player coming in, they have the ability to catch up much quicker than they have been in the past, right? So if you look at kind of character fountaining, I think we've actually done a great job of what we said we would set out to do, which is allowing for...
They have, especially by utilizing the incursion campaign. They absolutely have done a fantastic job of getting us more characters farmed faster. And kudos to them for not putting them all in the regular campaign. So the incursion campaign energy is separate, so you can kind of farm what you want more freely without falling behind on other characters. I think that's very good. I would love to see them start putting characters in the ISO campaign too. Maybe not the best characters because you want to farm specific ISOs, but some characters in there.
Availability of newer characters much earlier on than we ever have done historically. I think there's also a lot of exciting things that we're going to be doing for 6-year anniversary, as well as
this month.
We have some big beats coming out this year that I think hopefully for some of those players who may have felt the game was stale or stagnant will come back and go, wow, this is really exciting. I'm glad I came back to Marvel Strike Force.
So you announced in the show back in July the formation of the Player Voice Council. Is there a piece of feedback that you could highlight that they surfaced to you that the team was able to take some significant action on?
You know, there's times where they give us feedback on specific ways that we're operating, say, an event.
Yeah.
Where they will tell us, hey, we didn't appreciate this or didn't like this for these very specific reasons. Then we listen to that kind of feedback and we make sure that moving forward, we're iterating on it. Or there's examples with features. They get kind of early insight to some of the features that we release. They give us some feedback and we actually really listen. And there's a couple of examples where we've pivoted the way that we were personally going to develop that feature into listening to that feedback and making some of those changes.
So now that we're kind of up to speed now.
Did homie just say the player's voice movement is the reason we got diamonds the way that we got them? Homie, no. Homie, no.
2024. I wrote the preview blog. I know we got some big stuff coming up in 2024. Could you, since
Battle
November,
World.
when we kind of made some of the announcements, are there any more
Battle
details you
World.
can give us on some of the things we should be looking forward to?
Battle World, first and foremost, we are really excited about. There's a lot of our
Show us
resources
gameplay.
right now actively working on it. I'm continually seeing what we're developing, and it makes me really excited, as well as moments. I think that's one of the things that I really believe is going to help a lot more of that theory crafting and being able to kind of do and utilize characters that you would want to use.
What was that? What was that jump?
About. There's a lot of our resources right now actively working on it. I'm continually seeing what we're developing, and it makes me really excited, as well as moments.
What was that edit? As well as moments. What moments? What was he talking about?
I think that's one of the things that I really believe is going to help a lot more of that theory crafting and being able to kind of do and utilize characters that you would want to use that
Did I miss
maybe
something?
aren't
Talking
nearly
about
as
Battle
relevant.
World, lots of research going into it, and then as well as moments. What's moments? Is this something I've never heard about? Do you guys know what they're talking
And
about?
bringing some of that back. There's a symbiote behind you. I'll just kind of, leave it at that.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Homie just say Knull's coming. I heard Knull's coming. Knull's coming, everybody.
I have to circle back onto something. You mentioned moments. We haven't actually talked about moments yet. Is that something that you care to go into a little bit?
Moments at a high level is a way to be able to equip some stats to characters that will help to make them be more relevant where we are today in the current meta.
Is it at least safe to say that moments is fairly different than any of the existing types of things that are like that in the
Yeah,
game.
100%.
Yeah.
This is something brand new that there's nothing like this inside of the game right now. This is not an extension of anything that we've ever created. This is something brand new that we feel can really change up the meta of the game.
That's terrifying. Putting stats on characters. Are we talking speed stat? I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends right now. Let me tell you, speed stat is not a fun stat to play around with. It throws everything into chaos. It really muddies the waters on which characters are good. It's not a good thing to play with. I really hope we're not putting speed on characters. Maybe we could put, like... I don't even know. That's what ISO does, right? But maybe it's just like, instead of putting uniform stats on characters, you can just put straight damage, straight health. But speed speed is a terrifying idea. Absolutely terrifying idea.
How about new characters? We've released a lot of big names into the game. Thank you for Nightcrawler, by the way. But we still have, our players still have some pretty big names, you know, that you would recognize at the top of the list. Are we going to get around to more of those this year?
Yeah, it's funny, you know, I always watch all the videos, I read all the Reddits, I see everything. A lot of people picked up on a little Easter egg we put in one of our recent splash screens. But they actually picked up on the wrong part of the Easter egg, which was interesting to me. So there are some characters that are going to be coming out this year that I personally am very excited for. You know, again, I love Marvel. I love this IP. Feel very fortunate to work on it.
I guess as the GM, you have a little bit of influence. I think Darkhawk was one of yours that you were really kind of pushing the combat team for, right?
Yeah, there's always a lot, right? As the GM, yes, I guess it gives me a little bit more sway in kind of some of the characters that we push out. Yeah, Darkhawk, as you know, a kid growing up, I always thought he was a really cool, fun-looking character. And as we were creating Pegasus, I was like, hey, this is a perfect time for us to kind of slip him in there. I think there's a lot more influence I probably have over the 2024 lineup. So yeah, if everyone's disappointed, they can come yelling at me. But I think we have some exciting characters that will be coming out this year.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to come here and chat with us. This has been enlightening, and I know our players really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Cerebro. Have a good one.
Please welcome back to the show an amazing person, game designer, Mr. Byron Melsack, who's rocking an amazing shirt today.
Oh, thank you.
This is getting a little bit longer than I thought. This strike time is packed with info. Absolutely packed with info. We might have to break this down in a whole other video. We're not even halfway through right now. This is kind of scary.
Thank you very much.
So before we jump into today's main topic, I always like asking you meta questions about the grander Marvel universe. Have you seen the new Echo show yet?
I have. I've actually really been enjoying it. I'm actually a fan of stories about more of the street level hero antics in the Marvel universe. One of the things I actually really enjoy about the show is this is going to sound cheesy, but one of the themes of love in the show, but how that's shown by an entire family accommodating a family member who's deaf, by everyone in the family learning ASL, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I also really enjoy when you mention kind of like the street level heroes, you tend to get more of those close quarter combats, right? Like in the first episode when Echo and Daredevil are
Sequences. Why I was really
now, can I take
I hope they're not talking about Echo. That show sucks.
that trait as literally as it sounds?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the Out of Time consists of 5 characters, so 3 new.
Okay, this guy's cool. I think he's a good techie kind of guy. I'd love to sit down and like pick his brain one day. But we've already beaten the Out of Time pinata to death, and since this video's going long, we're gonna fast forward through this a bit.
Which was called Avengers and 1 million.
Building up your Captain America again
On all of his active abilities, base stats, and added callouts to the Out of Time, terminating with petri dish out with the fungus, and realized that the bacteria had was gone the following morning, and that's how we got penicillin.
So we've got cornflakes, penicillin, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
There you go. Yeah. An
What did
enemy
I miss?
character uses an ultimate ability.
He gets barrier. He's bonkers. Cosmic Ghost Rider's bonkers. What did I miss? How did it get the fungus?
Expanding, exhausted, and how it can potentially be inflicted. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, you'll. I'm not going to say it outright, but if you look through Cosmic Ghost Rider's kit, he has a call out to a specific character who's
Mephisto, go on.
technically not out yet. So I think maybe players can put one and one together.
Expanding.
Subsequent try, Exhausted gets applied to the defending team, and that Exhausted mechanic is going to turn off.
Did you see all those edits? What the shit did he say that they had to edit out?
Alleviate the stress of facing out of time on defense. We added a check for it. So essentially, if you're facing out of time on defense for the first time, you're gonna have to deal with this mechanic. But if you're going in for our subsequent try,
bro, he's not Sonic the Hedgehog. He doesn't snap back that quickly. Okay, what are they editing out?
Exhausted gets applied to the defending team, and that Exhausted mechanic is going to turn off the barrier game part of
What is
Cosmic Ghost
happening?
Rider's passive.
So one of the things that we were discussing
the
before
words
the
were
show,
going good. Hold
that
on.
Exhausted time, you're going to have to deal with this mechanic. But if you're going in for our subsequent try, Exhausted gets applied to the defending team, and that Exhausted mechanic is going to turn off.
And that is Exhausted, like, it's so clearly edited. Look, talking to a camera's tough. Maybe he just stumbled on his words, or maybe he says something he was supposed to say. Shout out to this guy, though. He's the best.
The barrier gain part of Cosmic Ghost Rider's passive.
So one of the things that we were discussing before the show is that the design team is looking at expanding Exhausted and how it can potentially be inflicted. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually. I'm not going to say it outright, but if you look through Cosmic Ghost Rider.
All right, so Mephisto gives enemies Exhausted, actually? Does he do that to attacking enemies as well if he's on the defensive side? So a character that'll come in and reduce your characters by 20%, that sucks. That sucks. I mean, it's going to be interesting to play around with, but it's going to suck.
Rider's kit, he has a call out to a specific character who's technically not out yet. So I think maybe players can put one and one together with that one.
So safe to say that line about Exhausted probably has a little bit more to it than what we can get into today, right?
Correct.
Cool.
No, you just said it. Mephisto's going to get Exhausted. So right now, suffer through it or use Nowhere Apocalypse, be the out-of-time team. Mephisto's going to come in and put Exhaust on the enemy team for whatever reason. Maybe he puts Exhaust on any character that has charges. Who knows? It's going to be interesting, but yeah.
So diamonds are still a relatively new feature in the game. We've got 5 characters that we're going to try and
tell that to all the people I face in Crucible. They all have 3 diamonds on everybody. Jesus.
bring up to 3 diamonds. Do you have any recommendations on which characters that you would advise players try to prioritize?
Bro, why is this guy trying to outsource my job? Cerebro, just because you're leaving your job doesn't mean I don't still work here trying to make recommendations, all right? Stop trying to outsource my job.
Prioritize out of those 5?
Oh, absolutely. Black Knight would definitely be at the top of my list.
He's Dark Promo. We can't. You lie. He's a liar.
Gotcha.
Because his ultimate and his passive attack
Have to talk about recommendations for ISO 8.
is a good axe with each of his active abilities. Captain Carter and Alliance Ghost Rider's.
Byron, thank you so much for coming by and giving us the information. The players really appreciate it. You're the best.
Well, I think you're the best, Cerebro, and thanks for having me on.
Before we end the show today, I have a bit of personal news that I'd like to share with you. I will be heading out on a new adventure, which means that this will be my final episode of Strike Time. This was an incredibly difficult decision for me because I love so many things about Marvel Strike Force, my coworkers, our partners at Marvel. Of course, the community is just amazing. I've been working on this game for nearly 5 years at this point. Heck, we even did a number of episodes of the show from my house, on my couch. And the community was so supportive through all of it. I really just cannot thank you enough. You have enabled for me to do my dream job. Like, how many people get to do this? This game still has such a long life ahead of it and so many amazing things planned. So do me one last favor. Would you help blow up this video? Like it, share it, comment. Let's make this the most watched Strike Time episode ever. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and I'll see you out there. As always, thank you for watching this episode of Strike Time.
It was a good episode of Strike Time, and it probably will be the most watched because Ryan just dropped so much knowledge there. Moments? What the shit is Moments? All right? He dropped the teaser that the Professor X wasn't the right Easter egg, so people are going to be scouring that now. I'm super interested on everything that Ryan said was very interesting. Now we know Mephisto is going to do something with Exhausted. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Oh, he does have a little outro. Let's check that out.
Yeah, I'll even miss you guys too. No, I know you're not real, and that talking to you makes me borderline schizophrenic, but Spider-Man talks to himself all the time, so can't be that bad.
The level of cringe is still gets to me. Shout out to Cerebro. Best of luck at everything that you do if you end up watching this for whatever reason. I think the game is not going to be necessarily better off without him. I'm not sure what he did behind the scenes, but I didn't get the idea that he was like an evil gatekeeper when I met him. But yo, this strike time was huge. I didn't know it was going to be this long. Moments. Oh my god, please don't have speed modifiers on them. That's all I got to say. This was a great strike time. Lots and lots of info was in here. They just gotta put Ryan on here more often because he can't get in trouble. He's the GM. He can say whatever he wants to say. All right, guys, this video went way, way, way longer than I thought it would. It's 40 minutes. I'll put a timestamp for when we start doing the strike time watch, I guess. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll have some videos sprinkled out over the weekend. And I'll see you guys Monday on stream or in the videos. Hit me up in the comment sections. I get to answer them whenever I can. Have yourselves a good one. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.